Hey Queens. So I was watching the new Frankenstein movie the other day, and let me tell you, when I laid my eyes upon this dress, it literally took my breath away. Everything about it is so gorgeous. The colors, the patterns, the silhouette, that beautiful neck piece, and of course that absolutely unreal headpiece contrasting with the auburn in her hair. That makes the character of Elizabeth in the film look completely angelic. When I saw this costume, I knew that the film was about to be very special. And that's the beauty of costume design. When a film's costumes are done poorly, they can take you out of the context and experience of a movie almost instantaneously, like somebody ripping off your VR headset in the middle of a game. But when done right, they can transport you into surreal worlds where fairy tales and mythologies of all manners can come alive. If I had to give someone an example to show them why costume design is so essential to world building, I would talk about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Well, there are a few other examples, but most recently it's this movie. Not gonna lie, I had been noticing a decline in the quality of costuming of period movies and shows in the last few years. Most notably, I think it began with Greta Gerwig's Little Women. Michaela Tewers has a very good video about it that I'll link below. Basically, the problem is that period pieces a lot of times will try to adjust their costuming and makeup to fit around modern sensibilities and standards of beauty. And when they do, it gives rise to phenomena such as iPhone face, which is when an actor in a period drama stands out in a very jarring way because they have such a modern face. I've noticed it too in shows such as Bridgerton, and people have been pointing it out in the trailers of films such as Wuthering Heights. Persuasion, starring Dakota Johnson, also received backlash for the same reason, which is why 2025's Frankenstein is like a breath of fresh air. Guillermo del Toro basically said, screw your beauty standards, I'm about to drag you by your bonnets into my world and you are gonna love it there. And you know what? He's right. I did love it. The moment I saw this red ensemble with the fluttering veil, I knew I was in for a treat. So join me as we go through the characters one by one and break down their costumes and their hidden details, all of which work together to create the realm of Frankenstein. Let's start with our main character, Victor. Now, Victor is a total rebel, a visionary, and an innovator. He's more than just a scientist. He's a punk rock artist. No, really, that is in fact the vibe that Kate Hawley, the costume director of Frankenstein, was trying to go for with his outfits. She says in her interview for British Vogue, our references for Victor included Mick Jagger in Soho in the 1970s and Rudolf Nureyev. We kind of wanted him to feel like a rock star walking on stage when he entered the lab. He's a punk and a dandy. And that's totally the energy that Oscar Isaac gives off in this role. There's like a flourish to everything that he does. There's a lot of this going on in the movie. He's restless, high energy, and his clothes look similarly disheveled, but in an aesthetic, painterly way. Like Francis Bacon or Picasso, he wears his clothes to stay up all night and work. And when he does dress up like a gentleman, he's still a very eccentric gentleman, with these snazzy velvet suits, pinstripes like the zoot suits of the 1920s, the luscious robes, the jewelry and accessories. Delicious. If there's a gothic movie or show, there has to be at least one character in pinstripes. It's just a rule at this point. Some hidden details which I love are these patterns on his vest which are drawn from human capillaries, and these plaid pants which are a reference to the London punk subculture. But this punk artist wasn't always a rebel. Victor, as we know, has a very tragic childhood. He loses his mother quite early on. The mother is the figure in red from the beginning, also played by Mia Goth, amazing actress. She's always dressed in red, and so even as an adult, Victor always has these red accessories and red objects around him as a sort of symbolic connection to his mother. There's red ties, red sheets, and these red gloves that he always uses to work, which symbolize both his mother as well as the literal blood of others that he has on his hands. Oh, so cool. Now, our heroine is Elizabeth, whose costumes are, for me, the creme de la creme of this movie. Every piece designed by Kate Hawley for Mia Goth is so distinct and unique, just like the character that she was playing. According to Miss Hawley, Elizabeth's clothes make her seem like a creature as well. She stands out from others, and her costumes show her fascination with insects and the natural world, especially beetles. No, not those beetles, these ones. The jewel tones of her garments reflect the wings of insects such as butterflies and beetles, as well as incorporate patterns from natural minerals such as malachite. In the blue dress introduction scene as well, she's wearing this gorgeous antique neckpiece from Tiffany's with delicate glass petals and the winged headpiece like a halo and delicate tulle sleeves. It almost seems like she's an exotic insect herself, just waiting to take flight. All of these elements are intentional, of course, since the first half of the story is told from Victor's POV, regarding which Kate says to British Vogue, Elizabeth keeps shifting. It's like a metamorphosis. Her colors reflect each of the other characters. So through Victor's eyes, when he first sees her, she's almost like an angel. Then we have Elizabeth echoing the red of Claire's coffin from the funeral scene. She's almost fleeting and becomes all these memories of all these women. And in order to create this fleeting feeling, there is a lot of use of transparent fabrics and veils in every outfit. Because to Victor and the audience, Elizabeth always feels like she's disappearing. You can't quite catch her. She's the muse and Victor's chasing her. Another beautiful thing about all the layers in her outfits is that they sort of symbolize Elizabeth hiding her true self from other people. And it's only when she meets the creature for the first time that she really begins to reveal herself to another. Speaking of the creature, we have to talk about her final wedding ensemble because it is so full of hidden symbols and Easter eggs, and I love a costume with hidden clues and references. First of all, the dress is inspired by Swiss-German regional dress. The top is a Swiss ribbon bodice, but it's also meant to look like the bandages around the creature's arms because at this point in the movie, she is most closely connected to the creature. And fun fact, according to Kate Hawley, they are also a lovely homage to the 1931 Frankenstein and the 1935 Bride of Frankenstein movies. Ooh, Easter eggs. I mean, they had to do it. Come on, iconic costumes. They had to. But mostly I love the way that Kate talks about the construction of this dress and the number of hidden anatomical references that it contains, such as the ribcage-like pattern of her bodice. She says, "This is Guillermo's bride, not a Victorian bride. We built the dress like we built the creature, from the inside out, because at this point in the story, Elizabeth is reflecting the creature more than she is Victor." Ugh, don't you just love when designers be designing? I know I do. And finally, let's talk about the creature's outfits in the film. There isn't a lot. He spends the first half of the movie pretty much half naked, covered in bandages, like Jesus during the crucifixion, which is amongst the many religious and biblical references in the movie. But my favorite is the soldier's uniform that he wears after he escapes the lab. It's taken off a dead soldier's body and still has the imprint of the man's spine on the back of the coat. So in a sense, it is like wearing another man's skin upon himself, and with it, their life and their memories. It's also the outfit he wears when he discovers his own origins as a creature, assembled from the remains and the pieces of other human beings. So it's sort of meta in a way. Kate Hawley says, of course, there's also the creature himself, played by an imposing Jacob Elordi, whose wardrobe reflects his journey in learning how to be a person. The first bit of clothing on the creature are the bandages that are evocative of the Christ. Then when we first see a real piece of clothing on the creature, he's retrieved it from the remains of a soldier on the battlefield. It became like another filleted skin, the memory of another man imprinted into the backbone of the coat. And when we see him at the wedding, he was almost ennobled, not only with the use of eloquence and a voice now, but also the stature and silhouette. What I love about that description is that it mirrors the trajectory of Victor's journey in the film, but in the opposite direction. As the creature becomes more and more human, Victor's clothing gets more and more shredded and disheveled over time, as Victor transforms more and more into the monster. Now, there are many things that make the costumes of Frankenstein so great, such as the incredible symbolism and attention to detail. There are just so many hidden references. If I had to name every single one of them, we'd be here all day. So I'm not going to do that. Second is the fact that each character dresses according to their interests, which I feel like is such an underrated tool in storytelling, and it makes for more cohesive world building, but I don't see enough directors utilizing that. Like, of course, if you like insects, you're gonna dress in the colors of beetles and butterflies. Of course, if you are interested in human anatomy, your vest is gonna have the pattern of human capillaries on it. Like, that just makes sense. The third is, I feel, the way that the costumes let us know who are the outsiders in this story, the ones that stand out and the ones that we should be paying more attention to. The film cleverly does that with striking color palettes for its main characters and more muted color palettes for its background or supporting characters. The historical accuracy blended with modern ideas and sensibilities. Yes, I am looking at you, directors of Little Women. It is possible, and Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein shows us exactly how. But I think the true impact of these costumes can be understood in these quotes from Radhika Seth's article for Vogue UK. She says, "The painstaking attention to the visual identities of each character and the hours spent perfecting textures, tones, and silhouettes underpins what I believe the film does so beautifully. Frankenstein wholly achieves the impossible. She dresses the cast in some of the most extraordinary ensembles I've seen on screen this year. Some of the looks made me gasp audibly, and yet somehow not a single one distracted me from the sweeping story of the visionary who plays God and in doing so brings about his own destruction. They only brought me deeper into Del Toro's magical world." Oh, hello there. If you made it to the end of the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on all my socials. Thank you for listening to my yapping. Unfortunately, I will be back to do it again. And when I do, I hope to see you there. Okay, bye.